Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for Politically Incorrect Knitters. I sorry, I got distracted. Somebody said they were in the wrong time zone. Must have been confused. I'm Deplorable Knitter, and I am joined, as always, by the wonderful and fabulous Ann Pinkova. Hi, Ann.
Hello.
And if you guys haven't noticed, my background is different because I just spent the last 2 days in a car with my family, and now we're in Florida. And I wanted to have the beautiful palm trees in the background, but my kids are in the pool, and I didn't have the heart to kick them out. So here's a painting that kind of looks like Florida. You guys can enjoy. So
Right. There's the palm tree in the background, so it's all good.
it's all similar.
It happens.
But yeah, so that's why I've been quiet this week. Didn't really post on Instagram. I've been busy getting stuff going. So, hey, Cinco Farms. Hey, Elizabeth. Thanks for joining us today. Good morning, all. Hey, Neil. What's up, man? So, Ann, what have you got going on over there? I have nothing to show.
Well, sorry, I was also distracted by comments.
I
It's really
know, right?
that kind of day. But also, we are sponsored by the lovely Lynn of Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. You can
We
go
sure
to
are.
chickenladyfiberarts.com and get 20% off your order using our code Hearts20PIK for the month of February.
Good thing you know that. I don't know.
Oh, also, she said in her newsletter that the pre-order for the Patriot collection is out.
Yes,
That's the fade from red to blue, and it's a big old mini kit, and it's beautiful.
it is
Um,
beautiful.
anyways, that get the pre-order now because the price increase is on March 1st. So right now she's doing last year's price, but there will be a price increase because
Yes. So,
inflation.
guys, take advantage of it. And Chicken Lady's in the comments. So if you got any questions for her, let us know. We'll ask her in real time. Ooh,
That's right.
exciting.
Oh, and also we are doing a February giveaway. Yeah, Lynn's like, that's me.
It is. We like you, Lynn. Hi.
Right. So we have a February giveaway, and this is called Marvelous. And it's this beautiful,
And it is marvelous.
it is marvelous. And this is it's 80% merino, 10 cashmere, 10 nylon. It's the Wyandotte, I believe.
Hmm.
And I believe that's how it's pronounced. Anyways, it's beautiful. It's soft. You want this. Um, so yes, so after the live stream is finished, go ahead and comment below and we'll choose somebody to be the winner.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to comment after it's done because these comments don't always appear. And so, oh my goodness, Anne, we never picked January either. Next time we see you guys, we will pick the January winner. We will pick the February winner. And if you want to win Marvelous from Chicken Lady, make sure you comment on this video after we're done being live.
Right.
Just so you girls know. And
Ooh,
Lynn
portrait.
said, what's this? I don't know what this hashtag's for, but
I think was it some I'm sorry.
Lynn, if you could tell us what that hashtag's for, we could let our friends know.
I think
Damn
it's
you, Chicken Lady. I'm on yarn rations. Yeah. And all
there
the
we go.
winners episode. Yes,
It's
yes, we're gonna have all the
Biden.
winners.
I knew it was something to do with Biden,
Thank
but
you. Thank
yeah,
you,
that's
Tabitha.
the answer.
Um, so
Oh, and also, sorry,
yes.
yarn. She also sent these really cool little
Oh
measuring,
my goodness.
and they're adorable. So yes, you'll also get one of these.
Oh, okay. It's for the Murder Knits Along in her Telegram chat. I am in your Telegram chat. I just haven't visited in a while. Sorry, guys. My life has been. Now that we're done with our trip, we should be back into. I say that every time, and then something new comes up. So whatever. It's always up in the air.
Yeah, we're totally going to be good and organized and everything. Yeah, right.
Every week after we're done with the video, we go, we got to have a business meeting, and then it's the next week, and we're like, shoot, we need to have a business meeting. That's how we roll. I was just telling Anne how happy I am that she's my co-host because, like, we're texting this morning. We're like, when do you want to go live? I'm like, well, I'm gonna go swimming, and then I can go live after that. My phone was dead. It needed to charge.
Right. And I'm like, that's cool. I have things on our business to do list that I haven't done. So we make a good team.
We do. It's life. It's okay. Um, yeah, Diana says she needs to be on a yarn diet. I usually go to, and hey, if you're one of the Florida people that have told me where to go, I don't remember. I usually go to a good yarn in Sarasota, but they're like really liberal. And I know that some of our viewers or some of my Instagram people have told me that there is a conservative yarn shop here nearby, and I would prefer to go to that one. So if you know the answer, please tell me. Message me, put it in the comments, something, because I would like to know. So yeah. Um, so that's that. And I was gonna say I did a little bit of car knitting. Don't know where that is. Um, I started two at a time mitts because the fabulous and wonderful Ann Pinkova explained to me how to cast on two at a time mitts. I'm doing a magic loop on size 2 needles. I've been body snatched. Please send help. Um, um, and then I also have Neil's. I'm doing a test knit for Neil, which I don't know whether or not I'm allowed to share it, honestly. I haven't asked him, so you can tell me, Neil. But I can't show it right now anyway because it's actually holding up my phone. That project bag with his project in it is holding up my phone. So
Right.
that's all I got to tell you guys. I'm in Florida. I'm in vacation mode. I was gonna have a glass of wine, but I was running late and the coffee was more accessible. So, but this is where I'm at. So, what do you
Perfect.
have to show us?
Well,
Okay, Neil says I can show it. So maybe once I get going on it, I'll a little bit further along, I'll show you guys. So
okay.
sorry, Anne, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. No, I was joking before we got on. So, the big Quins quilt that I'm doing, I'm on my, so they're all, it's a wedge, and I'm on the last sort of row. But I was in an antique store the other day, and and it's like, yes, I finally got a basket that's definitely not antique, um, to put the whole thing in. And my favorite thing about this basket is that it looks like I would carry a cat in it if I was like in a 1930s movie. Um,
Can you hold it up again? My screen is freezing. I don't know if everybody
oh, sure.
else's is, but I couldn't see it.
It's just a big.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like
You could
like
have a picnic.
yeah, or something. It's one
Yeah.
of those where it's a metal frame and they've wickered the whole thing around it, so there's like a proper movable lid and whatever. Anyways, I like it.
Mhm.
But it's also the perfect size to put my phone stand on, so I had to like mentally will myself to not do that. Um, but yeah, you've seen
That's
that
cool.
before. You've seen the blanket before. There's more colors on it, but I'm not gonna fish it all out. You know what a Quinn's quilt looks like, y'all. You're fine.
Yeah. I want to share this comment that happened while you were talking. Elizabeth says she's on the Atkins fiber diet. She can buy anything protein based. Well, there you go. That's a way to do it. So what else have you got? Anything else you've been working on? Or have
Well,
you been chill?
I have this cowl thing. I did end up
Oh
finishing it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a little roughly at the top. But
Hmm.
so lately, if it's been something stretchy, I've done a sewn bind off. But doing that with mohair be a pain in the butt.
Hmm.
Didn't do that. So yeah, it's nice. I need to weave in the end. It's doing the fading thing.
Cool.
So
You can model it for us.
I kind of don't want to smear it on my lipstick. Not gonna lie.
Oh,
maybe other,
okay, fine.
maybe when I have the hat finished with it.
Okay, okay.
Well,
I like that stripy back. It's cute.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, and it's the well, this is a fade, but I kept the one end of the dark blue, and then there's just the tiniest bit of the yellow on the other side, and then I'm striping them the other way. So,
Cool.
which is kind of what I did with that. Speaking of the Patriot collection, what I did with that shawl is taking the two fades from either end
Hmm.
and doing stripes, so it was the most contrast as possible. Anyways,
Yeah. I actually have a design for that Patriot collection, and I suppose now that she's got it back out, I should do something with that. But that's me and my planning. We'll see. I
exactly.
don't know if it'll happen. Um, Cool. So, any other knitting news you've got going on? I don't
Um,
think there's anything really in the knitting world. Neil's being lambasted on Craft Snark, but that's not anything new.
no, that was
Um,
pretty funny. We were dragged into it just a little bit.
oh, I didn't see that part, but then again, I've been driving for a couple days, so I missed some stuff.
Yeah, don't want to get car sick. No, but
Yeah, I actually took Dramamine this year and I was able to knit some and I was really happy. And then I wanted to know why I never thought of taking Dramamine in all the years we've done this. But hey, you live and learn, right? So,
you do.
um, yeah, so what so Neil wrote a letter in his latest issue of Blocked, kind of an open letter to the Knitfluencers, right?
Right. But I believe it was the same letter that he's always had in there. But
Yeah,
yeah, Morticia, like we were accused of being a knitting or a trad wife podcast. I'm like, that's right. That's me, the trad
yeah,
wife. What?
yeah. And the single lady is the trad wife. I think I'm but I don't know if I qualify as being a trad wife. Yeah, Morticia says I didn't know Anne was married, right?
It was a big surprise to me too. No, but I appreciate. I mean, all
Oh
of you
yeah. So
are.
apparently it's been there the whole time, Neil says. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
there you go.
No, it's
But they
like
just figured it out this time.
no, and from what it sounds like, the one lady who is English is like, oh, it was some little knock about, um, you know, me wittering on about Nigel Farage and Lawrence Fox. And I'm like, oh, wow. I've barely talked about them lately. They must have
Right.
started from the beginning of our show, which
Yeah.
props to them. Keep
Yeah,
with
thank
it.
you. Thanks
Yeah,
for the views. We appreciate it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, I hope they watch.
Trad wife is such an insult.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most of the people watching our show or associated with Black actually don't find that insulting. Just FYI. But then again, it's just a word like all the other ones they throw at us, so who cares? But no one's more surprised about being married than Anne. Yeah, did you know that happened?
Yeah.
Neil's our leader. Evil Santa, what are you doing to
Evil
us?
Santa every single time. You think it's okay, but it's
Oh,
not.
you're wearing my harem. This is the one I was actually meaning to hit. Hate views are still views. We love them.
I love
Keep it
hate views.
up
If we could
because
get
we
some
make money off of them.
exactly, if we could get some like defamatory memes going, tag us because yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah. When I say we make money off of them, it's like a penny a view. But hey, you know what? Someday Anne and I will be rich. We might have to ask for like GoFundMe's, but someday it'll happen. I'm a little out of the loop. What is craft? Whatever you just said, craft snark. Oh, craft snark is just a thread on Reddit that talks about crafting news, and they really, really hate Neil and Black Magazine over there. And once in a while, we get pulled into it just a tad, but really, they're really hating on Neil all the time, right? So
It's
yeah,
fun.
it is. So they've been calling Neil all kinds of names again. But other than that, I don't think much has been happening as far as knitting news goes, right? I
No,
haven't
well,
heard anything new.
no, and with them kind of attacking Neil, and as I said, it's very weird that they've only just found the first episode or the first magazine of Blocked. Like just now. It's been around for a year, guys. Why are you all uppity about it?
Yeah. Here's this one. Pre-sale a bunch of yarn and then fake your death. Business excellence. We could, but it sounds like a lot of work to fake your own death. I don't really think
I
I
know.
have the time
And
right now.
also, it's a real problem because, there's two people on the show. So do we both fake our death? Does one of us fake our death and do
Yeah,
the crying video? Like, who's
yeah.
who's
And then
responsible
would
here?
the other person still be responsible?
Yeah,
Yeah, that gets dicey. I don't know.
I know. Both of us dying, you'd have to really plan it. And
Well, then we would have to be together. Like we would have to have pictures like when we were in Niagara Falls, and then like
yes,
Neil would have to say, "Oh no, something terrible happened," right?
right.
And then in
Well,
what? How many years are we allowed to come back after? And then Morticia reports out the murder. See, there you go.
Exactly. If you'd get back on your channel, Tabitha. God.
Mm-hmm. Should I do a drawing of Neil's angels for next issue? Sure, that would be funny.
That would be funny.
Whatever. um. Anyway, I didn't mean to get us off on that tangent.
I'm just and Tabitha's daughter is still after my dog.
Oh yeah, that'd be no good. If you died, she would have a claim to her, wouldn't she?
I still don't think so. We were talking about it yesterday. I've said this before, but my dog is with my brother now, and he has 2 other huskies. And it was like sitting there and rating systems on. He's like, okay, best dog you ever owned. And he's looking at his huskies like, yeah, they don't rank. Like, I knew it. I knew it, Max.
That's funny. But cool.
Anyways.
So you want to tell, dude, like I said, I've been in my car for 2 days, so I haven't seen much news, but it appears that the entire world is on fire. Can you confirm that?
Oh, all the time, always.
Okay. Just checking.
Well, it depends on what you want to start with, the world on fire. Kind of the biggest news. Well, the biggest.
Before you go on, don't they have jobs, families, pets? Honestly, where do these people find the extra time to stalk you guys? It must be exhausting. Exactly. But it's still funny, and we can enjoy that. So, yes, news. I'm sorry, Ann.
Sorry. No, I wanted to say that a couple of the really big censorship issues this week. That you have Roald Dahl's books being rewritten, which is
Right?
shocking. Okay, so he wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, The Big Friendly Giant, Matilda. Right, it is Matilda. Sorry, I always get Matilda and Melinda confused. I want to make sure.
James and the Giant Peach, right?
Giant Peach, The Witches, all of these classics, and they're going through and they're changing everything. There is no mention of fat anymore. Augustus Gloop, yeah, Augustus Gloop is no longer fat. He is enormous, and anytime anyone is mentioned as fat, that is taken out. They've changed Matilda's book list when she talks about her favorite authors that she read. They've changed the authors. Even words such as black and white have been removed, and not in racial context. Like face was as white as a sheet, gone. He had a black cloak, gone.
What? Like,
Right.
I heard that they even made the Oompa Loompas gender neutral.
They did. They gendered.
What is that?
They did. They were not little men. They were little. No, I don't know that they said little people, but they were. Anyways, that they gender neutraled it, but they also no longer said as high as my knee or used the word titchy or anything like that. That they just said they were small and left it at that. So they're taking away all these descriptive words from the story. And I mean, and the man is dead. He can't say anything about it anymore,
Right.
which is also just horrible.
No, who gives them the right? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, there is always going to be things that people don't like, and I haven't read Roald Dahl in forever, but my kids and I have been listening to Harry Potter, and that's actually one thing I noticed is that J.K. Rowling like uses descriptors like how fat Uncle Vernon is and stuff, and how it's kind of not PC, but it gives you a sense of what the character looks like. You could say enormous, but what does that mean? If you say Dudley's so fat he has rolls and it looks like a little piggy, then you know what she's talking about. It changes the whole flavor of what they're trying to describe when you change the words.
Right. It's, fat is different from, enormous, but also it's different from, let's say, hulking. Is he
Right.
very tall and very broad? That could also be enormous, but no, that's
Right. I
not.
was going to say Hagrid is enormous in the books,
Right.
but Dudley is not enormous. Dudley is fat. Uncle, you know what I mean? There's
Right.
a difference.
Yeah. And, I mean, 1984, which is also on. I don't know if you saw, there was a thing that came out that it's basically like government watch list of books and TV shows in England that if you watch this or read this, you're in trouble. And basically any classic literature, you're just out. If you like anything from Tolkien to, I don't know, anybody basically, Shakespeare,
Dude,
right out.
this is freaking exhausting.
Hmm.
But it is. It's 1984. In that book, they would change the meaning of words, and you would have to like paste the new meaning over the old one. Like, except
And
it's so
not
much easier
only that,
with internet.
right. And not only that, but that they would take words out so it's smaller, that they would
Hmm.
give you the less amount of words to say, and that they would that they would take away antonyms, and they would say things. It'd be like, if for example, I forget the examples that they had in the book, it's been a while since I've read it, but if you have good and not good, and if you just have not good, then you no longer need to use the word bad. But
Hmm.
bad and not good are not precisely the same meaning,
Right.
so that you have all of these issues. And that's, taking away words. The end kind of going on to with Ofcom in England, the media censorship thing, but that there's all sorts of new words on TV that you're no longer allowed to say. In Australia, I think that things like illegal immigrant, which they don't really have that problem in Australia because they have a big ocean around them, like
Hmm.
that, to have people come in is much more difficult, and they have a much tighter restriction on that. Um, but they're shipping people in now, so that what you can say on the air, the specific terms you use, that some of them are censored and you're no longer allowed to say. Um, anyways, Ofcom. I don't know if there's anything else you want to say about the literature though, because that is quite a
Well, I mean, used book sales are going to soar. If you have a real edition of Roald Dahl, I mean,
yeah.
hang on to it for a couple of years, you're going to be rich, hopefully. Hey, maybe that's how we'll get rich. Let's go find all the old books of Roald Dahl and keep them until people want them.
Well, that's the thing though. And okay, so libraries we've known for a bit are generally very liberal institutions.
Hmm.
But I think, like, as a physical resource for things, um, that they're very necessary and very needed, but how many people want to switch things around? No, Tabitha, aliens is not allowed either. You can't say that on Australian television. Probably not other places as well. Um, but lose my thought. Anyways, that libraries are so liberal now that it's that you that the sort of new think as well as new speak is there to shuffle out the old and bring in the new. So
Yeah. I love going to my library and looking at all the new books in the children's section. And there's thing about like, Bobby and his favorite skirt. And I'm like, but do we need that book? Bobby wants to be a cross-dresser, he can do that in his own house. I don't know.
right.
I don't know. Sorry, I
Well,
know that that's going to get me. Sorry, transphobe. I don't believe that boys are girls. So
yeah,
even if they wear skirts.
even so. No,
Sorry. It's true. I just don't. They're trying to. My kids are small, right? So these books have fabulous color covers on them. They look fun. They want to read them, and that's how they're doing that.
mhm,
Because parents don't know. They're like, "Oh, the kids are at the library. They're getting books. That's great." And then my one kid loves to read graphic novels, right? And one was recommended, and I'm looking at it, and the main character in it, they don't refer to as he or she, they refer to it as they. And I'm like, well, we won't be getting this one
right,
because that's just normalizing the stuff. And if parents aren't diligent, they aren't going to realize that.
right.
So,
Both the addition of words and the subtraction of words, but also, and this is something that has been mentioned by Eric July, who did the Isom comic series with the Rippaverse, that a lot of what we look at and you're like, oh, yeah, I wouldn't buy that book, that they're being propped up by libraries, by teachers associations saying, oh no, everybody should bring this book, not because it's a good book, but because it's good for you. That is how a lot of these companies kind of make their money, is selling books that way instead of necessarily selling these books in bookstores proper. And also I wanted to mention, so there's this YouTube channel. It's Jay and Drunk 3PO is his little username. It's a nerd channel, but he was kind of he is a fifth grade teacher, but also he spends time like building orphanages and stuff, and he hangs out with Gina Carano a lot at cons. So he's pretty cool. Anyways, but he just came out with a graphic novel. It's the Achromatic Chronicles, and very much his mentality is, this is a graphic novel. It's for kids. There's nothing weird in it. It's just straightforward. It's, average kid finds out that there's a magical world beyond him, and that, he is important and he has a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That's the basic plot line. And part of his campaign is that he wants to get his book, he wants to sell his book to people, of course, but he does want to get it in libraries, in schools, in orphanages, and sort of have a alternate to the rest of it. Not that that's specifically pushing anything, but like, no, you're important and your life has meaning, and here is a fun adventure story graphic novel book.
Yeah. Here's an interesting comment from Morticia. During the lockdowns, we got books picked by librarians in bundles. We got so many woke books. I specifically asked for not liberal books and was banned from the program.
Wow.
Yeah. Now that it's open, she can do it again. But like, that's ridiculous. I should be able to say, my kids aren't interested in XYZ, and that's all that I need to be able to say. It shouldn't, because I don't want something doesn't mean that they should be able to ban me from it. It's a freaking public library. We pay for it with our taxes.
Right. And
That's
also
ridiculous.
Yeah, also the mentality that if we don't choose the books for you, you can't have any books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. This is our socialist country we live in. Just whatever, man. So anyway.
Anyways.
So what else did you want to tell us about? I didn't mean to get on a book ban thing, but man, it's ridiculous. But this is how they're getting to the kids, and especially because parents don't realize. A lot of parents don't know that they're doing this in the books and stuff. Think about it. Parents that are working, that have their kids in daycare or extra school programs, or I don't think that I think that that's why they promote. I know that that's why they promote everybody working, having the kids in all these programs as much as they can, so that they can indoctrinate them without the parents being aware.
Right.
So anyway,
the quote experts know better about your kids than you do. But also there's kind of a swing between passive, you don't know what your kids are reading about, or if the library says it, it's probably okay, or if the school says it, or whoever, or to, all these liberal things. Yeah, it's good for my kids to read that, to like ultra promoting that there's, a spectrum throughout. But I don't know, there's a level of like, oh, well, it's good for my kids to learn about different people. And it's not even the, like, oh, kids don't know that there's different people in the world. It's pushing a specific agenda and putting your kids in a specific mold. And just the long-term consequences of that, and just not even thinking about what those consequences might be, is shocking to me. Anyways, little move over.
yes.
Though, sorry, looking at comments. Probably should
move over.
Anyways, I wanted to say, because I wanted, like I said, I mentioned the Ofcom thing. And there was, last time I mentioned a little bit. So Toby Young, leader of the Free Speech Union, and he had kind of like, he was invited to go on Mark Stein's show, and like I said, Mark Stein left GB News because he was expected to take the Ofcom fines, which is illegal. The Ofcom is a media regulatory system, and any fines for what presenters may say that are against the rules of the media regulatory system are supposed to be paid by the media company itself, not the individual presenters. If the presenter is then fired, that's a separate matter. But that is how the rules are supposed to go, basically. And Mark Stein was supposed to shoulder the fines himself. And not only that, but he was supposed to, that GB News would defend him against the Ofcom complaints and not him himself. And then he would have to take the fines. And Stein has done free speech law battles for years. So he's like, no, I defend myself. Thank you. And he, and like the Ofcom complaints against him still haven't been solidified. They haven't issued fines yet. But GB News was, again, flaking out and then making him take the fall for it when he says this is a free speech issue. And if we don't fight it here right now, we're going to go through. And his plan was to, once the fine comes in, to fight that in court. Like he was prepared. He had things all lined up. And GB News kind of says, you know, fall under the bus here or get off the station. And so he left the station. So Toby Young, member or the leader of the Free Speech Union, he was invited on Stein's show, didn't come, was on his podcast with James Dellingpool, and had this sort of weird little exchange where he basically said, you know, it was Stein's fault for not playing ball. And
but free speech.
Right. That it's like, oh, well, you know,
am I wrong?
Right. It's like, yeah, it's like, oh, well, you need media regulatory that, you know, he just overblew this and he should have gone into negotiations. Where did I hear this one before? Daily Wire.
Yeah.
It's like, what were you doing complaining about this in public when you could have just, you know, talked to us privately and complained? What?
The what? That seems messed up.
Yeah.
That seems like the opposite of what the Free Speech Union should be doing. Am I wrong?
Exactly.
Am I confused?
No, exactly. And okay, so they do lots of wonderful things. Like I said, I've supported the Free Speech Union for several years. If you're at a job and somebody comes to your boss and they said this online, you should fire them. They will do letter writing campaigns for you, or they will, if you're in England, you can get legal help. And they do things like that, which is excellent. And, you know, that they support different things. But if you're not taking it at its core, at its base, if you're not pushing back against the law directly where it's going to be a problem in future, then what are you doing? Right. Really? And so I pay for the Free Speech Union. They have 3 different tiers. And one of them is the sort of wimpy tier for foreigners because foreigners like me, being American, that they don't get the full benefit of it, like legal advice and things, that they only do legal advice for England. And there's a separate Free Speech Union that's in New Zealand. Right. I don't know if there's an Australian wing. I would assume there is, but I don't remember. Anyways, but I pay the regular blown one because I'm like, yeah, you people are doing really good work supporting free speech. So of course I want to hand you more money. But sitting here like, look, times are tough, man. The renewal comes up about the same time as my Mark Stein membership comes up. And I know which one actually fights the legal cases on core principles for free speech for everyone.
Right.
Like, dude.
That's messed up. I don't understand. I mean, I get that you should talk to people about stuff, like negotiating is a good thing, but if they're going to hand you a crap sandwich and expect you to have it, then right. No, you don't have to do that.
Right. And again, the leader of the Free Speech Union shouldn't say, yeah, well, you know, he lost his contract, but I talked to the nice boys at Ofcom, and you know that Stein has really been a very bad boy here, and he should have just come into the principal's office. What?
No.
What?
No. That's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah. Oh, and also, something I previously said, a little correction, about Stein getting sued while after he had his 2 heart attacks, re-sued by someone who previously sued him.
Hmm.
I had said it was Carrie Katz. I was wrong. Carrie Katz, who still hasn't paid his $35 million lawsuit that he lost. But it was actually Michael Mann who refiled his lawsuit after Stein's heart attacks. So the
Okay.
guy's been sued from every which direction, every which way. But also, he's won like a lot of them. And
Right.
he's won free speech issues in Australia. And he's won free speech issues in Canada. And he said he did a little Rush Limbaugh tribute because it's 2 years since Rush's death. And he was talking about sort of the state of conservative media since then, and the importance of first principles, and not only first principles when you're talking about the issues of the day, very much like Rush did, that even if it's a silly story, you can bring it back to first principles every time. But also, he's saying first principles in these court cases, that he didn't want to if he's having a case about free speech, then you don't want to get off, well, it's on a technicality, well, it's on, a little judge's rule, whatever.
Right.
No, you want to do it on this is the free speech issue, and we're winning it by,
Right.
base common law, not just these little stupid laws that come around later. It's like you want to bring it back to its core.
Right.
But
Okay, well that's depressing. What else you got?
well, good news.
Okay.
Disney lost $2.4 billion in the last 2 quarters.
What?
Yeah. So they're cutting down
Wow.
a lot of their programming. So that's, something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's, I don't know. On one hand, it's kind of sad because it's, Walt Disney himself, just like what a creative guy, what all of the things that he built,
Yep.
and how he was anti-communist. He did great things for America, and look at it all now. Like, please, please stop it. And please let it all crash and burn before they destroy anything else, because
Right.
they are absolutely ham for that.
Yep.
Yeah, and the new Ant-Man movie, which I admit I haven't seen and don't want to see, because the first thing I hear about this movie is that there is a point, so it's Ant-Man and they're in the alternate quantum realm and nothing makes sense. And the ants have a socialist revolution. And no, you don't have to read into it, because they actually say socialism is a charged word, but they have some good ideas. Maybe we should listen to them. And
Wow.
his daughter gets arrested at a quote peaceful protest, and if Ant-Man, the superhero who saved the world last week, isn't actively with this peaceful protest, then he's part of the problem. Yeah.
What the hell, man?
I know. And it's like Ant-Man was the first movie, especially the second one, whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
the whole point is it's a ridiculous superhero concept, so they lean into it, and it's a comedy.
Right.
It's like, wow, this is so funny. Like, first they kill off Captain America, now socialism comes back. We know how that works.
Right. Man, what the heck?
But anyways, one of the greatest lines I heard about the Ant-Man movie, I was watching Friday Night Tights and they had Chris Gore on, and he's a reviewer for years, and he said that the movie was noted specifically, for pushing all of the agenda items, that the scripts would go through, no, you have to say it this way, no, it should be like this, no, it should be like that. And Gary from Nerdrotic, a great line, said it was ESG product placement. That ESG is what's it, economic, social, and it's
Okay.
your ESG score is, if you're
Okay.
cool with the economic form and everything else. But no, but that it was product placement, it was social signaling, it
Right.
was this is right, that is wrong, and made a pretty crap movie. So
Sounds like it.
I know,
I
and the thing is that I was okay. So I wasn't excited to see this movie, but I'm sitting there like, I like seeing movies. I like going to
right.
the theaters. I like buying popcorn. Like, oh, maybe I will, even though it's kind of crap. And I hear this, and I'm like, no, I don't want to encourage them.
No. No, there's like yeah, there's some things that I just won't do. And that's one of them, But okay. Well, that's fantastic. Morgan says that she's going to be in the Magic Kingdom on Thursday and the Animal Kingdom on Friday. So
Ooh.
she's can't wait to see how much stuff has changed. We'll have to see. You'll have to give us a report another day, Morgan. Have fun. My kids want to go to Universal. I think it's Universal for Harry Potter, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harry
So
Potter World's really cool. Not
you've
gonna
been?
Yeah.
Of course you've been. What am I thinking? Of course Anne's been.
No, well, because thinking with Magic Kingdom, so a friend of mine, we went to Disney World and Universal in May of 2019, and we didn't know how lucky we were.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of woke stuff still, but we had an absolutely fantastic time, and Harry Potter World really is magical. So
I bet it is. I can't wait.
yeah,
Um
and Universal has been doing very well lately from everything I hear.
mhm,
That they've been actually doing better in comparison. I don't know if their numbers have like overshot Disney's numbers yet, but definitely Disney is decreasing and Universal is increasing when it comes to people. And a lot of things too is that Disney, everything is through your phone now. Like
mhm,
day passes and pass and getting on rides even, and reservations for restaurants.
mhm.
And I heard one person joke that if you had to flush the toilet through your phone, that they would do that too, and that's how everything is, that you're glued to your phone the whole time, and if the app doesn't work and everything, that you just can't walk up and be like, hey, I want to be on this ride, hey, I want to do this, hey,
Yeah.
things work easily without the technology, which
Yeah.
obviously they were able to do for decades. But
No, it's all messed up. Ortisha's talking about she would pass on Disney and just go to Harry Potter. And I think that actually, because like I mentioned in the top of the show, I'm in Florida. My father-in-law lives here, so there's he can get the stuff for cheaper. And
right,
so and we might come next year or the year after and do the Harry Potter if it's still there, if the world hasn't imploded. Um, and there was a question from PT who wanted to know if we started because of the Ravelry thing. I was around before Ravelry. Anne and I started this podcast after that happened. And if you want
right,
more information, you can go all the way back to episode 1 because we talked about it.
right.
So there you
But yeah,
go.
I mean, I would say technically we're from the Ravelry thing, even though we only
Right.
started a year after. Like, it was still happening and building.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it brought us together for sure. But I was designing as Deplorable Knitter 6 months a year before that happened. So, you know,
Yeah.
kind of this thing happened because of that. So, but yeah, if you want to know, you can go to episode 1. And I think it's called The Truth About Ravelry. So you can't miss it.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah. Okay. Didn't mean to get us off on a tangent. Sorry.
Hey, that is a-okay.
Do you have any other fabulous news that we need to discuss? Do we want to talk about everything being on fire and falling off of tracks and exploding, or are we not going to talk about that?
I mean, it is. This morning Biden does a surprise trip to Kiev and not Ohio. Which, because we need to send more money to Ukraine because it's so dangerous
So
that
I think about that.
can go there. Our enfeebled leader can go stand on his mark and
Yeah. No, why isn't he going to Ohio? Why isn't he going to any other place that's had a train derailment, a chemical spill? You know, you can come down to Florida and there's a big plastics factory on fire, like 5 acres of plastics on fire. Seems a little bit more important than Ukraine currently.
right. And so I mean, not to defend him, but if chickens are dying, perfectly healthy chickens are dying in their coops, and animals and fish and everything, Biden's own health might be a little too delicate for standing around in that.
True, but I
Even
heard
so,
Trump is going there soon.
oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, Iris has the answer.
Yeah.
Thank you, Iris. You are correct.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
No, and yeah, there are people going there. There has been certain amount of support from people sending in fresh water, helping people in the surrounding houses. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I don't even know what that dude's been doing. The last thing I heard him talking about was like they need more equality in construction work. Like, dude,
Yeah.
I think there's more important things happening than,
Yeah.
the ratio of black and white people.
Yeah. That the day or the days surrounding that happening, did he mention the Ohio fire? No, it's sorry, what should I write down? That Transic Equity Day. That's not the word, but basically he put money towards railroads in Philadelphia so everyone could get on those trains and help him with
Yeah,
that.
I'm thinking that if I had a choice, I don't be getting on any trains, whether or not it was free or sounds like it's been a bad deal lately.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not been good. But
Great.
anyways, people are ticked, as they should be.
They are. It's just a disaster. The whole thing's a disaster. And if people are still saying that he's doing a good job and things are good, I have no idea.
Right. Oh, other news. So, good old Dr. Fauci, is published an article with two other doctors in the riveting magazine Cell Host and Microbe. I'm sure everyone here is familiar. We all have a subscription to that. Anyways, that the article is rethinking next generation coronaviruses, influenza viruses, and other respiratory viruses, in which he says, like, yeah, maybe the whole the mRNA vaccines are not the best idea. Like, really, Dr. Fauci, really?
I have nothing nice to say about that. Okay.
Like,
Wow. Wait, but we were conspiracy theorists and we still are for saying that. What?
also, it's amazing, that everybody in the media, from CNN to In Style magazine, who all sung this man's praises, are not like, wow, let's share this great new article he wrote to
Of course
everybody.
not. Of course not, because how can they control us if they're actually telling us the truth?
Not that I trust him to tell the truth, but I do trust a man to cover his own behind.
Yeah. Okay. This is totally off topic, but Emily said that this Doug Mastriano was at Ground Zero in Ohio, and he's holding a hearing in Pennsylvania because it affects Pennsylvania folks. And I just want to say,
Because it is on the Pennsylvania border, yeah.
Right. And this has nothing to do with that, but it made me think of it. So I live in New York. Anytime I've gone on vacation since I was a child, we've driven south. So we drive south into Pennsylvania. And it used to be that when you got to Pennsylvania, the gas prices went down considerably.
Mhm.
This year, we noticed that gas was $3.89 in Pennsylvania, which was even higher than it is in New York. And it just goes to show how freaking awful these democratic policies are. You get rid of fracking, we used to cross the border and my husband would say things like, look at how nice the houses are in Pennsylvania. Look at how nice these little villages are. We're in New York. We're in a area that has small town and
Mhm.
it's kind of depressed, and the houses, need to be painted, and you used to actually notice when you crossed into Pennsylvania the big difference, and now it's no different than New York, and it was just kind of shocking to me.
Right.
Um, Now you go further and further south, and like, we were in North Carolina, and our friends, we stayed with some friends, and you would not believe the construction and the gas prices and how happy people are there. And my friend was talking about how she hired a housekeeper because she got a new job and she's making X amount of dollars more, and how lucky they are. And
Yeah.
my husband and I are like eking it out in New York, and we're like, hmm, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, Emily says she always drives to Ohio to fill up because it's so much cheaper. I remember as a kid, because we used to vacation in New Jersey, and we would cross the border and we would know we were in Pennsylvania because the gas prices would be like 99 cents. And it was always like a buck something in New York. And I remember that vividly, that we would be like, okay, it's Pennsylvania, look at how much cheaper gas is. And now it's like the complete opposite. It's ridiculous.
Mhm.
South Carolina. Yeah, from once we were out of Pennsylvania, gas was like 3.25. We saw a couple that were like 3.09, but through all the southern states. We drove from New York to Florida. So we went um Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. So yeah, it was all about the same, except Pennsylvania was like noticeably more, which I found surprising. But that was my random story about gas prices. Sorry. It's just random observation.
Yeah. No, it's nuts though.
Yeah. So it just goes to show you, these people messing all the stuff up. That was my point.
Mhm.
But bless you.
Sorry.
All
I just
good.
remembered
So
I had a cough button. But
you had what?
oh, that I can mute my mic.
Yeah. No, it's handy. So were there any other big issues we needed to cover?
I think that basically covers them. I mean, there's always a lot of things, but I
Right.
think we're at 52 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know I heard my family eating lunch, which means that, I'm missing whatever they're doing. Although I think all we're doing today is going in the pool, so it's not like I'm missing all that
I
much.
was about to say if they're eating lunch, then the pool's free. So
I know, right? I can get in without anybody wanting me to watch them do something or trying to hang on me, and I could swim. Go figure. Nope, I love it because in a couple more years they'll be tall enough to reach the deep end and they won't need me. So I'll take it. Um,
um
but
but
yes,
check out Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. Again, code for February is Hearts20 PIK for 20% off your order. After the live stream is finished, comment at the bottom of this video so you can enter to win this beautiful, marvelous yarn.
marvelous.
Marvelous. And also this cool little guy. He's
Yeah,
adorable.
that is super fun.
But yes.
I'm a little bit jelly. I could go for one of them chickens for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so comment. Um, we're not going to do. I think this is a normal week for Live from the Name Wars, but because I'm on vacation, we bumped it to next week. So make
Right.
sure you watch us next week, which is what, the 28th, I think.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share, tell people about us because that makes more people know that there's conservative knitters out there, which is not a terrible thing, right?
Right, right.
So thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next time.
All right, we'll see you guys
All
then.
right, bye.
Bye.